What is up, everybody? NC.
JC and
We got some TNA stuff to talk about. So a lot of stuff happened today. Not sure if you were aware of what happened in the news, but the big thing that caught my brother and I's attention this morning was a big news piece. This is huge, so not sure if you're, but Tessa Blanchard has asked for and secured her release from TNA. One thing I'm noticing, whether it be with Steve Macklin, Myla Grace, Steph DeLander, Mance Warner, anybody who wants a release, they're granting it. There is no restrictions at this point. If you want to get out of TNA, they're like, okay, please. That's what it feels like. And for a talent like Tessa, you know we both love this woman. This is an amazing top-level talent. JC, tell them about how great Tessa is.
bro, I mean, she's one of the best in the world right now in the ring, on the mic, and she's just a great talent to have. She's just great in every regard. Like, there's no weakness to her as an athlete, as a performer. So TNA losing her, they're losing probably in my opinion, they're losing their best talent, really, male or female.
And that's the thing, too, is you lose Tessa. Like Myla Grace, whatever, she's a pretty face. Sure. Tessa is a pretty face and legit one of the best, if not the best, women's professional wrestler on the planet today. Still at a very young age. She's only getting better at her mic skills in ring. She gets better with each year that I see her. So truly a unique talent. And especially when you get rid of Steve Macklin. That was already one of our top favorites for the males. And then you get rid of Tessa. It's looking like TNA doesn't have much to show for. But, it's not just Tessa. No, there's a couple names here. Check this out. This is a big one right here. Tommy Dreamer announcing that he and TNA have mutually agreed to part ways. So this right here is huge. And the reason why, for anybody who knows who runs TNA, who's part of the creative, it's Tommy and Hunter Johnson. Those are the two main people that were with Carlos Silva to put out the crappy TNA wrestling that we watch every week. And Tommy, he announced that he and TNA had mutually agreed to part ways. And very, very sad for the guy. He seemed like he was very caught in emotions with what happened. So we're going to go ahead and show you a video of this. And it's just, like, I can't see why he was doing what he was doing. Actually, the video's not here. Where is it? It's right here? Let's see if it's down here. Huh. I don't see the video, but anyways.
You got to switch it over.
What, is it under the first tab? Oh, no, it's not under there. Okay, anyways. We did have a clip here. Don't have it right here. But anyways, Tommy was just so upset. He was very upset at what was going on. And upset about the whole situation.
NC, can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
Yeah, so I found the video.
Which tab is it under?
I'll pull it up.
Okay, go and pull it up.
I said it before about being emotional. Excuse me. A lot going on. To kind of steal something from Larry David or Jerry Seinfeld, I'm a really good breaker-upper. All relationships come to an end. And yesterday I had a great conversation with Carlos Silva, and me and TNA are no longer in a relationship. We've mutually agreed to part ways. It's hard. I've given so much of my life to that company. I don't have any ill will or malice. I want it to survive, and I want it to be the best it can be. I love this business. It's hard because I'm not going to be able to see the people that I helped. I had a lot of people help me follow my dreams, and I love that part about the business of what I did. It was a 24-hour job. I think I had it for close to 10 years. Off and on, I've been in and out of there. I loved going to work. I did. But everything comes to an end. I'm not crying because I'm mad or I'm emotional, but I know I'll be okay. And I hope TNA will be okay. And I'm going to avoid my phone for a little bit. But like I said, I'm crying because I loved going to work and I love the people I work with. There was a lot of really special people. I created so many moments. I have so many highlights. And I love it. When my mom died, it was the saddest day of my life. And I came on this show and wrestling helped me. And then right from there, I literally jumped on a plane. And TNA got me through that. With the pandemic, man, we were all scared together. This show got us through that. I would drive 15 hours by myself sometimes just to go to work because I love the people that I worked for. Like I said, there's no issues, there's no malice. It's just at this time we just need to take a break. And I want to thank everybody for watching the show, supporting me. Like I said, I'll be okay. There's nothing like it's just the way it has to be right now. And it's going to be hard, but it'll be harder talking to the people. So that's why I just wanted to say it here. And I want to thank Anthem and TNA and for the real wrestling fans for supporting. And if you went to a TNA event and you had a good time, that's all I asked for. I never wanted to be in. I just want to be a wrestler, and I was always just thrust into these positions. And I did my best, and I did my best for you. And that's all I got to say. And again, I'm sorry for getting emotional. Just I worked with 50 to 80 great people each and every loop, and I learned my job. I told you this a long time ago, and if you take bits and pieces of what I say, it's our job to put smiles on people's faces, and I hope you got those emotions. When I was supposed to make you mad, I made you mad. When I was supposed to make you happy, I made you happy. I hope you enjoy Slammiversary. I hope you enjoy every episode. I know I'll be rooting from afar. It's going to be hard, but Slammiversary is going to be a hell of a show, and I'll be watching it from the sidelines.
You made us mad, all right. There ain't no doubt about that. But I don't know, from hearing Tommy there, it doesn't sound so mutual between them. Just saying.
No, it almost sounds like they wanted to move on. Like they're cost cutting, man. That's what it sounds like. They're just cutting as many people as they can to get the budget under control. And that only leads to one thing.
But why keep Hunter Johnson? That's what's so frustrating is I know that Hunter is the reason why all that work rate shit is there. At least Tommy, we know from his work when he was working with WWF and Creative and also with ECW. He has the ability to at least give something entertaining for you to watch on TV. He has that ability.
The Elegance brand, yeah.
You know, he's got that ability. Hunter, not so much. And it's just so frustrating, too, when you hear about who they're bringing in to take Tommy's spot. Oh, my God.
Oh, God.
Out of all people you could bring in, you talk about Road Dogg? Road Dogg was so fucking bad that Triple H made him out to be the black sheep and got him kicked off after Unreal 2. Road Dogg is so bad that he wanted Dakota Kai to hold the world championship. Road Dogg is so bad, he's one of the guys that wanted Jey Uso at the top. Road Dogg is not a good judge of talent.
No.
At all, and never will be. Like, this is the same guy, from the stories we heard, wanted Damian Priest and Malachi Black to be the Rock and Stone Cold of SmackDown.
God.
He is a fucking mark. And that's been our biggest thing about all these people who used to work for companies, ex-wrestlers. They're too emotionally tied to the business to separate the wrestler mind state from the entertainer mind state. They're too emotionally tied. So what ends up happening is we get these matchmark products every single time. Road Dogg has never given us a good, entertaining segment on TV or good character ever in his entire life. Ever.
No, he can't because he's too fucking stupid. Now, he's a great talker. We can give Road Dogg that, but when it comes to creative, he's like, this is the guy who went on Vince Russo's podcast and said, in my eyes, Dakota Kai is great, and I think in time you'll see she's great too. No, No, Dakota Kai is awful. His judge of talent is very NXT black and goldish. In other words, it doesn't matter if you have a personality or anything. Can you go in the ring? So in other words, what you're going to get with the Road Dogg, Hunter Johnson type creative, if that is where they go, it's going to be even more work ratey, more match marky than it is now. And it's going to be probably even dumber.
I would say, yeah, it's going to be dumber. It's going to take itself more seriously as a sport, try to be even more like Ring of Honor than it already is. They're going to make it unwatchable. It's going to drop down to 150 to possibly 100K levels if they bring in Road Dogg. It's going to, basically, it's like turbo cancer. You put in somebody as stupid as Road Dogg, you're basically getting a Triple H Jr. for your company. You can get somebody dumb as Triple H, you got somebody even fucking dumber now. Congrats.
Yeah, congrats. You got the even dumber version of Triple H. I mean, now granted, Road Dogg is a nice guy from everything I've seen. He's very Tommy Dreamerish. Like they're nice guys, but they're fucking stupid, and that's what Road Dogg is.
And a lot of it is just you should never take a guy who's a wrestler and put him in a big creative spot because they're not creative people at the end of the day. Now, don't get me wrong, Road Dogg had some creative outbursts when he was, in the New Age Outlaws. But what has he created since then? It's been, 25 years? Nothing.
Right.
He hasn't created anything. I mean, closest I would say is the Voodoo Kin Mafia when they were making fun of Vince McMahon, but even that was a rip-off New Age Outlaws. It's like,
It was.
Road Dogg is not a creative man, never has been, and him teaming up with Triple H for Unreal, he showed the world how uncreative not only he is, but everybody he works with is. That whole entire table that they had for Unreal is a disgrace to creative.
Clueless is how you would put it. Like, they're all clueless. And you saw what even Road Dogg is like, I don't know with R-Truth, I don't know. You want to bring that guy into your creative team?
Yeah, which is sad too, because I know they were trying to make him look like a fucking retard,
sure,
on camera, and basically
not
make
hard.
him out to be the black sheep. I get it, and Michael P.S. Hayes will probably be up next for Unreal Season 3. But, that's the thing, is, I get that what Triple H is trying to do, but this type of guy, you bring him into any type of company in a creative aspect, maybe here's the thing, I'm cool with him being a coach. If you want to have him coach talents, especially in promos, they need it. You need more promo coaches, and he's a good talker. So at the very least, I can give him that. But if you're putting him in a spot where he's head of creative and he's handling the careers of other wrestlers, you're going to see Jody Thread as female knockouts champion. You're going to see, let's see how ghetto we can get. You're going to see somebody like Travis Angels as the fucking TNA world champion. It's going to get jobberish as fuck. Fucking Judas Icarus. Who's the one that they're pushing on the indies? Joe Alonzo. You'll see fucking Joe Alonzo as a TNA world champion. And the skinnier, more pathetic they are, they will be a world champion. If they had the chance to make Speedball Mike Bailey champion, they would.
Well, what they're doing is they're bringing back Amazing Red.
Right there. This guy just came out of retirement not too long ago, was working House of Glory hole shows, and now he's getting the big call up to TNA. Good for him.
That's their plan. Hey, we're losing Tessa Blanchard, we're losing Tommy Dreamer, same guy, we're losing everybody. We're losing Steve Macklin, we're about to lose Mike Santana, but hey, we're bringing back Amazing Red, who's how old is he's got to be in his 40s. How old is Amazing Red?
He's pretty old, and he's had a lot of knee surgeries too, so that's something to keep in mind. But then
44.
He's not a replacement for Leon Slater, because we know that Mike Santana and Leon Slater, they're fucking gone at the end of summer. They're
down on it.
Slater is definitely going to NXT. Santana, NXT or main roster for sure. They're getting signed by WWE. I don't see Santana going back to AEW at all. But no, those two for sure I think are on WWE's radar. They're going to get swooped up just like Joe Henry did and just like Jordan Grace did. But no, in a situation like this, TNA doesn't have much left to pick off of. After that, what will they really have left? They'll have Eddie Edwards, Frankie Kazarian, Moose, Cedric Alexander.
God. Oh, don't forget Eddie Edwards.
Oh, Eddie Edwards, you got Dolph Ziggler. Yeah, Dolph's pretty much their shining gem.
Jesus.
Dolph Ziggler
God.
is their fucking shining gem. And then you got Jeff and Matt, which are being greatly underutilized. At the very least, here's the thing. I think that Jeff and Matt could have some sort of legends run WWE for one more year. I get it that they're just trying to get gigs, keep active, whatever. But that's another thing, too. You guys got the Hardy Boys and Dolph Ziggler, and they're bit players. They're mid-carders in this fucking company. That tells you how shitty the creative is.
Oh, it's shitty. And what is it going to get any better? No, it's you've still got Hunter Johnston in creative now. Apparently, all along, Tommy Dreamer has been the head creative guy, head talent relations guy. Now, Hunter Johnson stepping up into that role. Okay, well, you're still going to get a bunch of matchmark shit. We've seen Hunter Johnson's booking before in Ring of Honor. Let me tell you, if you think Tony Khan is a matchmark, Hunter Johnson's even more of a matchmark.
Well, and what TNA has been showing us is that they're not making any good new signings. What they're doing is they're signing a bunch of people who used to compete for TNA back in the day and hope for the best. I think that's like after Taryn Terrell, they saw that she couldn't really wrestle. They're not bringing her back, and then Amazing Red, healthy enough to go, bring him back. They're going to be looking at a lot of TNA originals. I could see them even getting the dudes. You remember the 2 cruiserweight dudes at the beginning of TNA who did the Spanish fly off the top rope? They'll fucking get those guys. They will be getting every TNA original. They'll probably bring back Ken Shamrock. I'm not even joking. That's another one, too. They will bring back fucking anybody and everybody. Al Snow, anybody and everybody who's down to fucking return.
No, they will, and so people are wondering why you're not seeing those NXT crossovers anymore. Apparently, word going around is that it had a 60-day end clause where it's like as soon as they started on AMC, they had 60 days until that part of the talent exchange was going to end. So that's why you're not seeing those NXT crossovers anymore.
Well, what's going on?
They don't even have that.
Well, what's going on with Stax and Grace? Are they like contracted by both NXT and TNA, like a handshake type deal? I'm wondering what's up with that.
I'm thinking that's what it could be.
Okay,
just like a handshake deal. Like you go over there, do the thing over there, and then come on back to WWE, and that's ultimately where they're going to be heading back. I mean,
yeah, for sure.
I mean, because looking at TNA, who do you have? You have the Elegance brand, which really doesn't mean all that much. You have Matt and Jeff Hardy, which are washed and past their prime and really not doing anything exciting. Now, the creative didn't help, and I'm sure that they could probably book something even better than what they were being given. But what do you have? What do you really have with all these people leaving? You have nothing. You have no feel. Who is the future of TNA? And by Elegance, Well,
that's the thing is, they're not going to push the people who we want, like Elias or Elena Black. They're not going to get pushed. Mustafa Ali will probably become world champion. Just saying. He's one, if they keep him around, he's definitely going to become world champion. I know it.
Well, and so what a lot of TNA fans need to do is they need to separate the matchmark side of their brain from the rational side of their brain. The matchmark shit we've seen does not draw. It Never. Does not fucking draw. What draws is star power. Now, which is why they're bringing back Amazing Red. And they're going to be bringing back probably. It wouldn't surprise me to see ODB come back in more of a part-time role. That's what I think they're going to be doing, man. Is they're going to be reaching back to the past in these very short-term deals where they're really not. They're getting these veterans from TNA's past, but they're really not paying them all that much, and they're especially not paying them as much as they would be paying like a Tessa Blanchard or a Mike Santana or a Steve Macklin. They're really trying to cut costs now, and it brings up the question why? Why are they now? Why all of a sudden now are they trying to aggressively cost cut?
Well, guess who recently got returned to the Indies? Davey Richards. Mm-hmm. We could have a Wolves reunion, just saying. They would try to bring in that fool.
I mean, honestly, is it any worse than booking Eddie Edwards in TNA?
But that's what I'm saying is they're going to be pulling all these classic TNA names out of the bag. Anybody who they can get under a contract, they will. Because like you were saying, they're looking for the spotlight because they're on AMC and it's cheap labor. And that's why they've been doing the big cuts that they've been doing lately is they're trying to be as cost effective as possible for what we believe is a sale. But you know what? It wasn't just those two names. There's also one more name we forgot to mention. Sami Callahan. I didn't even know he was resigned, but this is what we were talking about. They're literally going back and talking to anybody who was under TNA contract and seeing if they'll work with them, even for a short-time deal. But even Sammy's like, you know what? I'm done with this shit. He even said it on his X. He said, thought I was getting called today to be offered a position in creative. Nope. I parted ways with TNA. Oh well. Onward to the next adventure. Check out my company, PW Revolver. And it makes sense. I mean, if you're going to go ahead and just get somebody who's cheap for creative in-house, Sammy runs his own company. Revolver, sure. Don't get me wrong, it's an indie company. It has a lot of indie elements, but it's in-house. You'd save money. Mm-hmm. Here they are. They're going to spend probably a decent amount of money, 6 figures, to get Road Dogg. For what? For what? This dude would do it. This dude would do it for $5.
He would do it for free. I mean, this fucking fat idiot. I mean, like, because like
Payment
what
food.
yeah, payment food. Because like, what other big opportunity is he going to get? Is NWA going to bring him in? Probably not.
No.
Is AEW going to bring in Road Dogg? No, because he was Triple H's good old buddy, old pal, for all those years. So that's probably not going to happen. Is he going to JCW? Fuck no.
Oh, God, no. Please
No.
don't, Jay. Jay
No.
and Russo, please. I know you're cool with Road Dogg. Please don't. Please don't.
I don't know. I've been thinking about, bringing in this fat, lumpy, dumpy piece of shit. He may be stupid as fuck, but he knows about wrestling.
Jay, please.
Bro,
No.
Bro, he is going to get into arguments with me over wrestling, bro. We don't need that. We're good.
No, we don't. We don't need more fucking pulling apart, like one direction pulling another way, one direction pulling another way. We don't need any of that in JCW. So JCW, just say no to Road Dogg. He may be a
Please.
nice guy, but just say no. He offers nothing. He's not creative. He's not intelligent. He's not a good booker. You've seen what he's done with SmackDown, and it did nothing. And now, granted, SmackDown's not any better with him being gone. It just shows what a fucking incompetent piece of shit creative team Triple H has created. So, like, what do you get nothing out of Road Dogg?
Well, what did he even do for OVW in that brief time after he left WWE? Like, what the fuck did he even do for that piece of shit Al Snow company? Nothing.
Nothing. Nothing.
Nothing. He's worthless at this point. But Mo, take it from Moose. He's optimistic. He said,
Wonder what the new narrative will be with TNA as a packed house in Boston for Slammiversary.
Oh, God.
but that's the thing. A packed house in what? A fucking arena of 5,000? Where you cut off, what, 1,000 for a camera crew? Packed house my ass.
They'll pack a sardine can and this idiot will fucking brag about it. Moose, no. It's not impressive, okay? TNA, you gotta remember, TNA last fucking year at Slammiversary, 7,000 people.
Never again. Never again will you get that. And a lot of that had to do with the hype and the fact that they were tied to the hip with WWE at that point. WWE, though, this is what people don't understand. Like, so for people like Dave Meltzer that say, WWE, AAA never needed them. AAA has become basically a new company under WWE. TNA, when they were actually being helped by WWE, were actually successful. They were actually doing stuff. They were getting big packed houses. People say, oh, they were doing that beforehand. No. Everybody who knew, especially with the Endeavor streaming deal, knew that TNA and WWE were working on the down low even before that shit got announced. So don't blame me with that.
No, not at all. And now, granted, I mean, did TNA, was TNA given quite a bit to work with NXT? Yeah, absolutely. But the thing about it is that you look at the creative. You even look at how Mike Santana was booked at Slammiversary. In his hometown, he fucking lost. Right? Which is fucking it's evil, it's stupid. But the booking, that's the problem right there, is that the booking squandered all of it. Is that, like, you're not, like, the booking is still the problem in TNA. Keeping Hunter Johnston is like you're keeping the cancer in the body. No, you have to cut it all out. If you're going to fire Tommy Dreamer, you also got to fire Hunter Johnson and bring in a completely new creative vision. Because, if you're bringing in a completely new creative vision, at least you're giving TNA fans to go, oh, I wonder what could happen here. But you know what you're going to get with Hunter Johnson. You've seen it before.
Well, just look at the recent embarrassing storyline that they did with Steve Macklin. It's so fucking stupid when you look at the fact that a talented man like Steve Macklin is the one that basically lost the Feast or Fired, was fired in storyline from TNA, then somehow through some contractual loophole finds his way back into TNA to face off against Mike Santana for the world title. So he goes from being fired to getting a world title shot, which makes no fucking sense, but it's TNA. And then what happens? Oh, he decides to leave TNA. So he goes from fired to rehired to quitting.
What I don't understand is, like, why couldn't they have, like, structured this out to where it's like, okay, we'll have these people leave after Slammiversary. At least keep some of these talents for Slammiversary. Now, just let them walk. Like, what the fuck? What are they thinking? This is horrible management.
It feels like they're trying to immediately get it ready for some sort of sale to WWE. I mean, because we were covering for a little bit that WWE, they had first right bids to TNA. If they ever sell, they got the first right bids. And no one knows, man, he's probably trying to get it on the cheap. This might be a coordinated effort between Noseman, Nick Khan, and Carlos Silva to cut as many pain-in-the-ass top paid talents as possible and only keep the bootlickers. That's why they signed Tasha Steelz. I guarantee you she's not asking for a shitload of money. but she's happy to be there. Mustafa's probably going to ask for a little bit. They'll give it to him because they're a bunch of work rate fucking dickheads. They're going to try to keep as many core talents as possible, but a lot of people are going to be let go. And that's the thing too, is like it's not going to be something that they want to happen. Look at Tommy. He was in tears.
Oh, yeah.
In tears, a full-grown man in tears, because he was a big part of what TNA had become. And I'm sorry, but you saw it with Scott D'Amore. No improvement to the company at all. It was garbage.
Oh, it was awful. It was like femme-cucked. Like, it was Scott D'Amore. Like, literally, Scott D'Amore was beating the talents. Like, that's how fucking stupid it was. He was constantly, like people forget this. They think, oh, no, Steve was so much better under Scott D'Amore. Scott D'Amore was constantly putting himself on camera. Like, every other segment was Scott D'Amore with this fat dork with his headset on. It was every segment with this guy. It was ridiculous. And he was having Giselle Shaw beat people and win the champion, even though he's in a relationship with Giselle Shaw. Like, that's the problem with all this, man. And like, but we say all that, but we got to talk about this. Like, we can't ignore this. So Tessa leaving.
Let's be real quick. They were the Michelle and Barack Obama of pro wrestling, and they still are in a lot of ways. Just saying.
I mean, like, look, even in MLP, you look at the booking. Guess who the women's champion is in MLP? You'll never guess.
Could it be Giselle Shaw?
Holy crap, you guessed right.
Whoa.
Wow. Yeah,
and here's let's real quick about Giselle. She's getting booked in JCW, NWA. She's a top level indie talent right now. And I think a lot of it has to do because Court is up these bookers' asses.
Yeah. No, I think so too. Well, and that's the thing with MLP. So, like, with MLP, they're doing their thing. Scott D'Amore, I think Scott D'Amore's not going to come back. He's got his own promotion. He's happy over there.
Oh, yeah.
They don't have to deal with any of the anthem politic bullshit. So I just don't see Scott coming back, and I don't see Scott having the money to buy TNA. And like, if you're going to sell, if you're Anthem and you're going to sell to anybody, why wouldn't you just sell to WWE? They have more money at their disposal than Scott D'Amore does. But we say all that with Scott D'Amore. We got to talk about Tessa Blanchard. So
sure.
For people who don't know, Tessa Blanchard wrestles for CMLL, quite frankly, and that's where she gets the majority of her booking from. The majority of the money from her appearances comes from CMLL. So she was basically forced to choose between wrestle for CMLL or wrestle for TNA.
Smart choice, and you know why? Because look at the fucking deal going on with CMLL and AEW.
There you
smart,
go.
Fucking smart, dude.
But we got to talk about that. So okay, so CMLL. Oh, so WWE owns AAA. That's a fact. That's we know that.
Right.
CMLL is a competitor brand to AAA. If WWE is going to buy TNA, would they want to have a wrestler on their roster of a company that they own that's with a competitor brand to AAA?
Hell no.
No.
This makes all the sense in the world, and this is the type of thing. Look at Persephone. She's already being pushed as a top-level AEW talent. She's from CMLL. I guarantee you we're going to see Tessa at Forbidden Door. We're going to see her at the next big show.
I mean, and that's another thing, too, is look, you know, now it could happen. I hope it happens. I would love to see it happen. I mean, because we got to look at that. I mean, you know, look at the timing, you know, and then, you know, if she is going to go do appearances with AEW, is WWE, if they're going to buy TNA, are they going to want to own TNA if she's going to be wrestling for AEW? No. So I think that this is all strategic. This is all worked out. I think that I'm going to say right now, I think that they've already got a deal in place to buy TNA, and they're finalizing the paperwork. And what you're probably going to see, my guess is right around Bound for Glory, it'll be announced that, yeah, TNA has sold to WWE.
They're going to make it another feeder system. I mean, it was kind of for a little bit, but I think they're going to go back to that. But so here's a statement from Anthem. Parent company of TNA addresses recent releases after company shakeup. So they said TNA Wrestling today announced a workforce reduction designed to streamline operations and sharpen strategic focus and profitability. TNA's creative leadership team will see an immediate shift. Tommy Dreamer, who has worked in TNA's creative and talent relations departments, is leaving the company as TNA and Dreamer mutually agreed to part ways. TNA Wrestling also has come to the terms of release of Tessa Blanchard, Sami Callihan as well. We wish Tessa, Tommy, and Sami and others the best in their future endeavors.
And others.
So it's going to keep on growing. They aren't done. I knew once what was it? Steph DeLander and Mance left. I was like, this is just the beginning. Just wait. And then, what was it? Less than a month later, Steve Macklin, Mila Grace. And now what we're getting is we're getting Tessa, we're getting Sammy, we're getting Tommy. And it's going to keep on growing. They are not done. Because what they're doing right now is obvious with Tasha Steelz resigning with TNA. Is they're going through with all these talents and being like, hey, you want to take this low ball offer? This TKO low ball offer? Or do you want to go test the free agency? And that's what it's coming down to. A lot of people are seeing how much their stock is worth, and they're going and testing the free agency. While others, they're just sticking with TNA because they feel this is the only lifeboat they got.
I mean, you look at Eddie Edwards. Like if Eddie Edwards gets fired, I will be shocked because this guy, I think he will literally take. Like, you could pay him in a half-eaten hot dog and like a coupon book, and I think the guy would stay. Because who else is going to hire Butterball Eddie Edwards? Like, no one's going to hire this guy. Who's going to hire Alicia Edwards? Nobody. Like, nobody's beating down their door. Oh, we got to have you. No, like, no major company is coming for them. No, like, maybe NXT as like a guy to help, get seasoning to the green talents. Maybe there you may see him there, but you're probably not going to see him on the main roster in WWE. You're probably not going to see him in AEW. You're probably not going to see him if there ever is another major company. If some, like, Elon Musk gets a wild hair up his ass to start his own company, you're probably not going to see him there. Who knows? But what we can say about all this is that, I mean, I can't remember TNA aggressively cost-cutting like this any other time.
Well, that's the thing, too, with Eddie and Alicia. They're only getting older.
Right.
Frankie Kazarian only getting older. Mm-hmm. And here they are bringing in guys like Amazing Red, who's already pretty damn old and banged up. Sure, he took some years off
44.
to heal up and all, but still 44 years old and doing a very reckless style. What, for dream matches against Mustafa Ali? Is that what it's for? What the fuck is Amazing Red gonna bring to your company? I honestly, I have never heard Amazing Red cut a promo in all the time I've seen him wrestle.
Sucks, dude.
I've never seen this little dork, this little ginger dork, ever cut a fucking promo. He's literally like if you took Rey Mysterio and made him a ginger dork version. That's what you got. I've never seen him cut a promo. I would imagine he's absolutely awful.
I mean, he's perfectly within the vision of what they're doing right now. They're building a cheap work rate company. And that's all TNA is. They're just a cheap work rate company. I mean, they're not giving you storylines. I mean, the past TNA episodes have had, like, no storylines practically. And they've done some goofy shit in the ring, but that's not a storyline in and of itself.
Well, but even the storylines that they were doing, and I think this is what Tommy, and I think this is why he takes a lot of the fault. I think the storyline with, with the Forbidden Realm and, like, Tessa going into it and, like, Bunny coming back and Rosemary and Abyss and all that, I think that started out as Tommy's idea and it just went to shit. And I think he took a lot of guff for that and was like, I take the blame, fine, I'll leave because I gave you a fucked up storyline. Because I actually tried, I'll leave, But nobody else is trying. I can guarantee you, with Hunter in that company, you will never see a storyline that tries to be cinematic like that. And that's at the very least I can give it that. At least it tried to be cinematic and tell a story. Now you have no stories. You literally have, I'm the best wrestler, let me test my mettle against you, who claims he's the other best wrestler in the world, to see who the best wrestler is. It's NXT Black and Gold shit. We don't need to see that.
It's Ring of Honor with even less of a budget. I mean, really it is. I mean, it's good. I'm telling you, man, they're going to get sold. Like, I've never been more convinced in my life of this company is aggressively cost-cutting and really doing, and look, so if you're going to cost cut, or if you're going to sell the company, what are you going to do? You're going to cost cut? But what else are you going to do? You're going to get a long-term deal, like the AMC deal. That makes it more attractive for anyone who's going to buy the company.
Yeah, because that way it's already baked in there. It's for like 3 years? They still got 3 years left on the deal. Dude. So they still got some time to play. And that way, well, what it can do is it can allow Triple H to mold TNA to being the black and gold that he doesn't have the option with Shawn Michaels there. Yep. With Shawn Michaels, it's become very TKO influenced lately, and they basically have, we need to come up with some use. So I think TNA is going to be basically for all the talents that he's looking to get rid of, but he's like, you know what, let me send them to TNA on a cheap, shitty deal, see what I can get out of them still.
I mean, let's face what TNA is about to become. So for people who, what TNA is about to become is OVW. It's what OVW was.
God.
That's what it's going to become.
It's
going to become OVW with a decent TV deal is what it's going to become.
Hey, who was in OVW? Just saying, not too long ago, they hired this motherfucker for creative. Just saying.
Yeah, and like and when they become this, that's what it's going to be. You're going to see, like, look, I mean, if you're a TNA fan and you hated the NXT guys and WWE guys going to TNA, oh, you're going to hate what TNA is going to become. They are going to become a feeder system for WWE. You watch.
Well, it's going to be like a place where just like all those shit talents that they were already sending to other companies, like the War Raiders, for example, will be sent to TNA to help out their tag team division. Yeah. And it's going to be something like that. Yeah, I think they're going to keep like people like the Righteous. Any cheap indie talents, anybody who's below 1,000 per handshake deal, they're going to be keeping per show. They're going to be keeping those talents because it's nice, cheap labor that they can have out there that will bang up their bodies for the work rate classics. So they have no problem with that. That's going to be their new focus going forward, especially if they get a fucking retard like Road Dogg. Basically, what you're getting with Road Dogg is you're getting a dumber, more work rate friendly veteran. Because Tommy was already there, but no, with Road Dogg, he's even dumber and more work rate friendly. Keep in mind, he was tied to the hip with Triple H. Tells you what type of vision he has.
None.
Exactly.
None.
Magoo.
I don't know.
That should be his catchphrase. Yeah, you're going to get, I don't know, Hunter. What should we do with this amazing red guy? You think we should give him the world title? Yeah, we should.
Oh, God, I could just imagine the creative meetings. Oh, my God. Oh, it's going to be like, Amazing Red beating Moose. It's going to be Amazing Red beating Mike Santana. Like, it's going to be the stupidest fucking shit you could imagine. It's going to be, oh my God. Well, and again, like, this is the thing. It's like, I don't even, like, even if they don't hire Road, let's say they just don't hire Road Dogg and they just stick with Hunter Johnson. We've seen Hunter Johnson's booking. The motherfucker doesn't know how to tell stories. All he knows is, book wrestlers in a match and put it on TV. That's all he knows.
Dude, he might get in the ring and wrestle. If you've seen him as Delirious, he's a fucking goofy, stupid wrestler. And an even goofier, stupid booker. So yeah, it's going to get really retarded. TNA, you can see why we gave up on it. We, out of all the people out there in the IWC, we tried to give TNA a shot. Because TNA for months, because TNA was at least trying to give us storylines at one time. They were trying to give us new talent. They were trying to give us young talent. Trying to give us something. But at least over the span of this last, the end of 2025, beginning of 2026, you begin to see the shift, man. All these talents leaving, shittier creative. You know, all that hype that they really had last year is completely fucking gone. And it started disappearing right after the AMC deal. Mm-hmm. After the AMC deal, when they started shoving the system down your throat. Every single show. And that's the thing. It's like Bear Bronson is the best promo they have. And even then, he's okay. But every single show. System promos. System beats down these guys. Oh, don't forget about Mustafa Ali stable. And then beating down Elias and some stupid shit. You know, it's just... This is what you would see every TNA. Oh yeah, your obligatory fucking Hardy Boys or Righteous match.
But it brings up a question.
Got to shoehorn that shit in there. What's up?
But it brings up a question. It's like, so we were watching TNA for a little bit, and they were entertaining. They were watchable.
Right.
All of a sudden, about a month ago, or about 2 months ago, roughly, it just became completely unfucking watchable. What happened? What changed? I think they were already getting this prepared. I think that they already had Hunter Johnson planned in place, and he was already booking a lot of the shows, and it looks like it. It looks like what a Hunter Johnson show would look like. Just long matches, bare minimum storylines, if there are any at all. And I think the TNA that you've seen over the past month is the TNA that you're going to be getting under Hunter Johnson.
But
awful,
worse.
Garbage. But even worse. Like if they bring in Road Dogg, it's going to get dumber, worse. Like Tommy Dreamer is... Can't believe I'm saying this. Tommy Dreamer is a much brighter, better, smarter, creative mind than Road Dogg.
Well, at least with Tommy, he has more experience in the business. He worked with some top bookers before, like Vince McMahon and Paul Heyman,
Sure.
so at least he has a grasp of what works and what doesn't. I think he was getting overruled a lot of the time by Hunter Johnson. But when you were mentioning that this company was getting ready for a sale, I think it was ever since Carlos Silva was brought in. I think that's what his original role is. We looked into it. All the other companies that he had worked for, he was getting them ready for a sale. Mm-hmm. I feel that's what he was brought into TNA for. They're like, okay, we're going to time the TV deal with Carlos coming in, and we're going to make it a situation where you get this company ready. Get it ready for that sale. We got to tie it in with Endeavor right there. So I think from the get-go, he was giving us false hope. Giving us false hope that we're going to get a number 3 to build up the hype and build up the interest with the WWE.
But my question is like, why from right around March to the end of April, like that, like or like February, from February to about the end of April. Why were they bringing back veterans left and right to bump the number up? Why were they trying to bump the number up? And why do they just not give a shit now?
I think a lot of it had to do with TNA nostalgia, and a lot of those veterans that they were bringing back were dirt cheap. I think that's what it had to do with, because you look at all the veterans that they're bringing back, it's not like people that are in like top level shape. EC3 is one of the few. You know, I'll give EC3 credit. He's a great talent. But with the exception of him, most of the TNA talents that we're bringing back, I mean, you know, Bunny, she's in good shape, whatever. But it's like, but she's not a star. EC3 is the only one that is even close to a star, and even then he's not a draw. Now, honestly, nobody in TNA right now is a draw. And I could see why they were trying to do what they were trying to do. New deal on TNA with AMC, trying to get some of the old TNA viewers back, you know, be like, hey, come check out TNA on AMC. It's awesome, and it sucks. So I think it was just them trying to get people back, honestly.
Well, it's them trying to get it back. But my question, so when is the Slammiversary? Oh my God, wow. So, but my question is the timing, because I'm looking at it right now. Guess when Slammiversary is?
When's that? June
28th.
Okay.
In 11 days.
Oh yeah, now they were typing up Bound for Glory. They were hyping up Slammiversary, and it's something that they already had set aside. I think that this card and how they've been booking is match friendly. That's what it's been.
No. But my question is like, why have they just completely given up heading into Slammiversary? That's usually not what they do. They normally ramp up creative and ramp up things going in. Like, it's almost like they've just given up. Why? Do they know a sale's about to take place?
And that's what it is. It's one of those things where it doesn't matter. Slammiversary is their version of WrestleMania, because they're going to be a commodity. They don't care. Right now, they're just trying to cut as much as possible, especially when you look at the fact that Macklin, Mila, DeLander, Mance, Sammy, Tommy, all these talents left in a very short time frame, all around the same time. I'm just saying.
No, they did, but I can't ignore this. Like 11 days out from Slammiversary, and they've got nothing going. They've got nothing going. They're cutting people left and right. They're cost cutting aggressively heading into Slammiversary. Why? Are they about to come out with a major announcement? Oh, we've sold TNA to WWE. Like, is that what's about to happen? Is that coming right around the corner? Like, I'm just looking at the timing, and I'm going like, okay, they've completely milled in the creative. They're cutting people left and right from the company as they're heading into Slammiversary, which is not something they normally do, heading into to their second biggest pay-per-view of the year.
Well, it's just something where I think they just were at a point where they're like, hey, we're getting ready for a sale. We know you got Slammiversary coming up. It's one of your big shows. Too bad. Too bad. We got to get this ready for the sale. Go ahead and start cutting anybody who doesn't agree to a lowball offer. And I guarantee you, if you looked at the details on Tasha Steele's contract, she ain't getting paid shit. Just saying.
None of them are. None of them really are. I mean, and that's the thing. It's like why Tessa left. Like, Tessa left because it just probably wasn't worth it to her. All the reports is that, you know, the CMLL money, she'd have to give that up for the dates they were trying to get her in. And there was a conflict there. And she's like, you know what? Fuck TNA. I'll just go back to CMLL, where I'm getting booked better, I'm treated better, and I'm getting paid better. Like, I don't blame her at all. And, you know, like what you mentioned is that with Forbidden Door, with AEW has a partnership with CMLL. It could happen, you know?
I think it's it's really good situation, especially for Tony. I bet you he's fucking happy right now.
Sure.
Because he knows the power that he has over CMLL. He literally can have her show up anytime. Oh, yeah. Anytime with that type of deal that he has. So, yeah, she's going to get first bid. And if we get the shot, she's going to come to AEW probably in time for Forbidden Door, is what I'm saying.
And let's be real, like all the sickos out there, because bro, on Twitter, they're
I
like,
saw.
No, I'm going to hand it. I'm going to hand it. That wasted piece of shit.
You watch. The minute it's announced that Tessa's all late, they're like, oh, she's fucking amazing. Can we just move past that, okay? Like, should people change over time? Like, I can't stand these fucking idiots. Like, you will see. You will see that they will fucking flip on a dime.
They're idiots, and that's why I try not to engage with them at all, man.
I've learned my lesson.
Every single fucking time. Because they're the most brain-dead people you will ever get into an interaction with on social media. And they're persistent, too. They're persistent in how fucking stupid they are. And persistent in the fact that you're wrong and they're right. So at that point, you know what? It's like talking to a wall. Fuck them.
I agree, man. It's like talking to a wall with these people. But yeah, like with TNA, man, I think big changes are underway, and you can just feel it in your gut too. Like if you're a TNA fan out there, you could feel in your gut. You could just there's this feeling that you have that something's about to happen with TNA, and you've probably been feeling this for the past couple of months. Don't ignore that.
The way I've looked at it is like ever since they started mailing it in, I was like, something's wrong with this company. I couldn't put my finger on what was wrong with this company, but once you see it start to degrade every single episode, and when you're just to the point where you're rage watching it, you're like, okay, what's the point? And that's what it became for you and I. It became a rage watch situation where why are we still wasting our time and energy watching a company that continually disappoints us, does not care about how we feel, even though we've gone out of our way to try to help them. That's the type of situation it became with TNA, is we were so passionate. And TNA, you know, they have all these other YouTubers that suck their dicks and tell them they're doing a good job. But God forbid they actually get some good, creative, constructive criticism. They didn't want it. In fact, they fired anybody who could have used it on TV, like Tommy. Just saying.
And that's the thing, is like people, you got to understand, like we were trying to give it, like for me, I'm just speaking for myself, this is what? The 7th or 8th time I've given them a fucking chance, like the 7th or 8th chance I've given them. I've given them chance after chance after chance after chance, and they've let me down almost every time.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, is people are saying, I told you TNA was gonna fail. Look at MLW, they're number 2 now. God. Or number 3, and I'm like, no, they'll never be number 3, or 2, or 4, or 5, or 10.
Well, no, and people were jerking off about MLW. Oh my God, they're amazing. The first episode got over 200,000. You know, I'm curious. Let's see what this fucking dumpster shit fed is doing right now. Let's see.
Well, that's the thing, is it's all hype. Once people watch a couple episodes of Fusion, they're gonna realize that it's garbage, and they're gonna tune out. That's the main reason with MLW, is like there's so many companies out there that don't give a fuck about promos, don't give a fuck about stories. It's literally about bell-to-bell banger matches. So many companies. So people say, oh, look at all the alternatives you have. It's all the same flavor. Nothing there. Nothing original. And this is why we say what we said about TNA, because TNA was at least trying for one time to offer us a storyline-driven promo. Like some sort of thing that we could watch. Like storyline-driven promos, segments. We were getting this in TNA for a little bit. And then they just gave the fuck up. They don't care. Well, that's where we're at right now.
Well, it is like with MLW. It's like I'm looking at their views. So the first episode 2 weeks ago at 252K. That's pretty good. Not bad for MLW. The second week, or the second episode after that, was 121,000. That's a massive drop, less than half. And then you look at this episode, Cross vs. Riddle 2 World Title Rematch, in bold letters, not even 100,000.
Ooh, you sure you're happy about being an MLW, Cross?
Right.
You sure you're not gritting your teeth through that smile?
I'm so happy. I'm so happy I get to go to a fed that nobody fucking cares about or nobody watches.
You know, yeah, I'm sure you're fucking happy there. I'm sure you wouldn't want to be back in WWE. I'm sure that's why you were sucking Triple H's knob the entire time you were on Ariel Helwani's show.
Oh, even Matt Riddle was talking about wanting to go to Misfits MMA.
Of course.
He wants to get back in MMA because look at MLW. You know that they got to be paying him something, but it's not that much.
No, it's not that much. And that's the thing. It's like with TNA, the one thing that they have, and like I think every TNA fan will agree with this, the one thing that they've always lacked is that they've always lacked their own unique identity. They've had unique match concepts like the Monsters Ball, the X mat with the fucking briefcase over the ring with the X over that. Like they've had unique the 6-sided ring. They've had these different concepts, but they've never had their own unique identity. That's the problem here. Is that like when you're constantly bringing in these fucking out of touch veteran wrestlers, you're not going to get a unique identity because all they know is Matchmark Wrestling. That's wwhy you need to go outside of the wrestling bubble to bring in somebody who has a completely different vision of what wrestling can be. You need to get a writer. You don't need a booker. Bookers are what kill wrestling. You need a writer. You need somebody who knows how to structure TNA like an actual TV show and use those techniques, those writing techniques, to hook the audience. There's a reason why TV shows are successful. There's a reason why they're structured a certain way, because it's been proven to work. It's been proven to hook an audience. Well, do the same thing for TNA. You know what? If TNA wants to have an identity, be the playground for wrestling, be the sandbox for pro wrestling, where you just try out all these experimental concepts. You know what? Why don't we try out, well, I don't know, episodic TV writing? Why don't we make it kind of like a prestige drama meets pro wrestling? Why not that?
Their ego won't allow them.
Of course.
That's what it comes down to. At the end of the day, their ego will not allow them. And that's why they're never going to hire writers. They're going to hire bookers, experienced veterans, who respect the business. Because us writers, we don't respect the business enough. That's the problem.
Oh.
That's the big problem, is that all these creative people that you're suggesting, we haven't paid our dues, like Scott Steiner said, like Al Snow said. We haven't paid our dues. We haven't done enough for the business. And that's why our opinions do not matter. That's how all of them think.
And you know what's funny is that, like, Vince Russo in 1997 didn't pay his dues, but that didn't stop him from creating the fucking Attitude Era. And let's be real, Vince McMahon on his own would not have created the Attitude Era. He needed Vince Russo, he needed Ed Ferrara to help him. And look at what they fucking did. When you brought in people, and that's what they did. They brought people from outside the wrestling bubble into pro wrestling to give it a new vision. And that's what it created. Look at the Hulkamania era. Vince McMahon didn't have booking experience. He was not one of the fucking good old boy veteran bookers, like in the territory. And then these idiots in the territory saying, well, you know, if I took a national, I could have been big like WWF too. No, you fucking could have. You know what? Shoulda, coulda, woulda. No, you couldn't have. If you could have, you would have. You didn't because you couldn't. So I don't want to hear this bullshit. Vince McMahon had a completely different vision of what wrestling could be, and he made the Hulkamania era. Vince Russo, Ed Ferrara had the vision of the Attitude Era. That created something brand new. Even Eric Bischoff with the NWO and all of that, it created something new. What the fuck is right?
We always cover on the news everything that these veterans say, whether they work for Busted Open Radio, whether they're Jim Cornette, Dave Meltzer, anybody who's a veteran of the business, whether they've been in the business or out. Doesn't matter. If they talked about the business for as long as they have, you would think that they know something.
They don't.
All of them are fucking marks that have nothing to offer. All of them. There's not a single veteran out there that says some base shit. Bret Hart is the closest, but he ain't booking no company, and I wouldn't even want him booking a company because he's too much of a wrestler. You need somebody who's a writer, a creative mind, like a Vince Russo, or even like a Brian Gewirtz. They won't even do that. They'll bring him in for the John Cena segment. That's it. That's where we're at. We could use fresh new talent that actually does something new for the business. No, go back to these veteran marks because they respect the business. That's where we're at.
Well, and so many fans are brainwashed. So many, like, TNA fans, but just wrestling fans in general. So many of them are just brainwashed to think, we need to have, and the wrestlers too, let's be real, we need to have a wrestling person running wrestling creative. What's it gotten you?
Nothing. And that's the thing, is every company that has brought in a wrestler has failed. The only company that is actually doing decently and offering us different stuff is JCW right now. And what did they do? It's because they brought in Vince Russo, a guy who was a writer, wrote for a fucking magazine and became a booker. That's what they don't understand, is that it's been proven time and time again, even with Gewirtz. Writers get the job done.
Yeah.
They always do. Even, some of the people that they've used throughout history, like I think Barash had a couple good writing segments.
Yeah.
But they'll never put him in the top spot.
No.
WWE has people, they won't use them. That's how it is.
And let's even think about it logically, too. Like, these shows we're talking about. So we're talking about TNA Impact. We're talking about Monday Night Raw. We're talking about SmackDown. We're talking about Dynamite. We're talking about Collision. We're talking about all these shows. Even NWA. All of these shows air on TV. Wouldn't it make sense to format it like a TV show? Wouldn't it make sense to because what these veteran wrestlers do is they book it like a televised house show. That's what you see.
Close.
That's what you see.
Close. They book it like a sport, and that's the fucking problem. It's not a fucking sport. It never will be.
It's soap opera.
It's a televised fucking soap opera. Always has been.
It always has been. And it's so frustrating too, because it's like the fans will continue to prop up, not our fans, but like wrestling fans in general, continue to prop up this bullshit narrative propagated by these old school dipshit wrestling marks like Jim Cornette and Al Snow and Rick Steiner, like all of them. They'll continue because they don't know any better. They don't think for themselves. Just think about it logically. When the fuck has it ever fucking worked?
Ever. It's never worked. That's the thing, is that the mark booking style has never worked for any company or brought up the ratings for any company in the history of pro wrestling.
And even the funny thing about TNA, when was the last time they had over 2 million viewers? Who was the head writer? Who's the head of creative for TNA when they had over 2 million viewers?
Russo. And that's the thing, too, I love is people say, oh, that was back then. Well, how come Vince Russo was able to raise the viewership for JCW then? I mean, it's not in the millions, but he's doing the best he can with the budget that he has. Just saying.
Right. Exactly. And that's the thing. It's like you see over and over and over what a writer can do for your company. Now, I don't want to hear but WWE has writers. Yeah, they do have writers. But at the end of the day, they ultimately have to report to he was either an out of touch Vince McMahon who was well into his dotage, like 70s, like way too old to be the ultimate head of creative, and now they're having to report to a mark like Triple H. That's the problem. And even Tony Khan, like, he's got writers, but he's a full-blown match mark. And he's running AEW as a hobby, so he doesn't care. There's no pressure for AEW to put on, like, shows that are going to get massive ratings. What does it matter? As long as they're getting 500,000 and the execs are happy with it, who cares? And that's the problem with AEW. But with TNA, they're not in that boat. They're in a desperation boat where they need to up the ante creatively, and they just don't have the people that can do it. And they're so entrenched in that matchmark mindset of, well, we need to go get a wrestling person. It's like when Scott D'Amore left. Oh, we got to get a wrestling person. No, we need to have a wrestling person because only a wrestling person should book wrestling. No, wrestling people ruin wrestling. They drive people away, and you've seen it time and time again.
Always. It never fails. So let's go ahead and get to the super chats. We got Dustin the Grim was saying, you guys think WWE or AEW will make a move for TNA if only for the tape library? Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's going to be WWE for the tape library. And, yeah, I'm sure AEW would love to have it from AEW, but with TNA basically getting the first bid rights from WWE, you're going to see it there. WWE is going to tie it into their library, more content for their streaming packages. It's good for them. TNA is a very huge library, and it'll still enable that cockroach to still live and thrive. So, yeah, that's what I think is going to happen there. I think it's going to probably be announced before SummerSlam. Just saying.
I agree. I think it's going to be, I like what you said. I think it's going to be announced right after Slammiversary and before, or maybe like at the latest right before or right around Bound for Glory in October. At the absolute latest. But I think it's soon. If you're cost cutting like this and this aggressively, sale's probably around the corner, and the sale's most likely going to be to WWE.
Yeah, so that's where I feel it's going to go. Garza said, "What if I tell you Io Sky beat Raquel? Io is going to be Queen of the Ring." I would have told you that Io Sky was going to be Queen of the Ring from the very first fucking match that I watched.
Yeah.
Sadly, after I watched that first match, I'm like, this stupid fucking bitch is going to win the Queen of the Ring, and it's not going to benefit anybody but Triple H's boner. It's a sad thing about it, man. When you could actually have a new talent like Raquel, a new person at the top, just give it to Io. She's already had everything. Give her more. Why not? She's the quote-unquote best wrestler in the world. And that's another fucking reason why we know these veterans. When you got people like Tommy Dreamer and Bubba Ray Dudley saying, and Mark Henry saying, Io Sky is fucking amazing. She's the best female wrestler in the world. We're not going to have any sympathy for you when you lose your job. Because you should have lost a long time ago if you think she's the best in the world. None of these fucking veterans should be in a top position at all. All of them think like shit. All of them, what they say is they say whatever Triple H they think he wants to hear. That's all they say because they all want a job at the end of the day. And they know WWE's the only game in town practically. And AEW, they're not hiring right now. So that's what they're going for.
Absolutely. It's what they're doing. They know what they have to do. And like it just goes to show, it's like even in WWE, it's like, you can hire professional writers in that company. If at the end of the day, if the head of creative is a veteran wrestler matchmark, what kind of product are you going to get? You know?
You're going to get slop. That's what we try to tell you here is that this isn't our imagination. We've backed it up with the shitty turnouts in the attendance. We've backed it up with the terrible ratings. And it's never enough. Because they always make up excuses. Oh, people are watching on their cell phones now. Oh, people watch the clips later. You're just a fucking dumbass. You don't know what good wrestling is. Look, I bet you anything Slammiversary's going to sell out, you fucking retard.
Is it going to sell out 7,000 people?
You try talking with these people and you realize, what the fuck am I doing? What the fuck? Especially a hardcore TNA mark that will keep on watching even though they grow worse. At that point, those people don't have any taste in wrestling. You should not listen to them. You shouldn't talk to them. You should ignore them.
You should, because they're hive mind drones is really what they are. They're not using critical thinking. They're not thinking about this logically. What they're doing is they're just going along with their group. Well, TNA fans are thinking like this, therefore I want to fit in too. And that's really all it is. It's just they want to belong to a group. It's this belongingness thing for them. Rather than like what we're doing is we're just being real. We're just being completely honest. I don't want to belong to a group. The only group that I want to belong to is the TWRP group where we're going to fucking keep it real. We're going to keep it real. We're going to be totally fucking honest about what's going on and what we're seeing here. And if something's good, we'll put it over. But if something sucks, we're going to call it out. And where TNA's going right now, it's going to become the next OVW.
We gave TNA a chance when a lot of people were saying, LOL
Multiple.
TNA, why are you guys watching that stupid shit? Why are you guys wasting your time on that shit fed? So many times, and we stuck up for them. We're like, you know what? Check them out lately. Give them a shot. They're not too bad. Now we can't say anything. They are LOL TNA.
They are.
That's the way it is. So
They really are, and it's a shame because like of what could have been if they had just fired Tommy Dreamer, or if keep Tommy Dreamer as a talent relations guy, but completely isolate him from the creative team. Get rid of Hunter Johnson, bring in a head writer, bring in an actual TV writer to run TNA wrestling.
be nice, but they're not going to do that because they're marks. All companies are run by marks,
and the wrestlers too.
And wrestlers too. Chapter 2 was saying it never watched TNA but thought VKM, Budokan Mafia, equals good stuff. Like I said, that was the last time that Road Dogg was ever creative. After that, I think he just destroyed his brain on drugs and alcohol, and this is what we got right now, is this fucking brainless mark that will probably get a job in TNA because they're fucking stupid. So, that's where we're at.
Oh, God, I really hope not. God, I really, really hope not.
Well, but it's like, that they're going to look for anything they can to gain headlines.
Sure.
And if they can get Road Dogg on the cheap,